So, dreams. I was going to talk about this one the other day when I had it, but I just kind of stopped wanting to. But then I'm like, you know what? I will, because I saw someone's like, "Oh, you should do more dream videos." So I had a dream about this. So this is from Warlords of Draenor. This is the moment where you beat Archimonde, and he's all like, "Gul'dan, you made a pact." And then he, as the kids say, yeets Gul'dan through the portal. That's how it played out in my dream. But when Gul'dan got yeeted, as the kids would say, through that portal, it wasn't just a portal. Like the portal closed, and then it was like these huge regal looking doors that were like red and gold. They were just like poof, and they closed. And then somehow me and I don't know who else was with me. I don't even remember. But we walked up to the doors and opened them, and it just got more civilized as we got further along. But it was like you open the door and then they went through, but they disappeared because obviously they're not just stepping through it; they're stepping into like another reality or something. And I only saw them again when I stepped through the door as well. And then suddenly the doors are like the doors for like a fucking you know normal building. They're like the silvery metal doors with the glass and all that. And we're walking through those, and we end up in this like mall or store or something. I mean, it was big. And then as soon as we get in, we see like this cafe or restaurant or something, and we go sit down, and we could tell it was Azeroth somehow, like an alternate Azeroth, but except we're more civilized there. But we're sitting there, and no more than like 30 seconds later, some dude's coming up to us with a freaking crystal in his, like the crystals from Azuna, the ones that are making all the Nightborn crazy, and like, come on, man, you got any crystals? Yeah, those? Yeah, he had one of those, and it was like glowing and all that. And I just looked at him, I'm like, no. Like, like you're talking to a pet. No. And he's like, I'm like, no. And he walks away, and the guy, I was like, we saw how well it's turned out for the Nightborn. Even in my dreams, I don't do drugs. Don't do drugs, kids. Even if it's blue and purplish and shiny and it's glowing a little bit, don't do it. Don't do it. Because then suddenly you're going to be withered and you're going to be like, come on, man. Got any crystals? And then, you lose all sense of who you are, and then you're just like, it's not worth it. And then some dude comes in, like he's got a gun and he's trying to rob the place, I guess. And because we're in Azeroth, it seems, I'm like, oh yeah, let me see if I have any kind of powers here. So me, because I'm a caster in the game, I prefer to stand back and just, I'm sitting there, trying to conjure fire or water. I'm like a fucking bender at this point, like just trying to anything, firebender, earth, just something. But then people are just like, they just tackle the guy. Here I thought it was going to be an awesome battle, and they just tackle him. I'm like, well, there's that. And then as they're tackling the guy and they're bringing him down, I just walk out and I start exploring the area. And there was like this big old freaking toy area. And I'm walking through and I see like these. I mean, it's supposed to be Azeroth, but they had like this. It was like some knockoff Power Ranger. Like it was like Tommy, and he had his Green Ranger outfit on, but he didn't have his helmet, and the dragon dagger looked really stupid. Like you could see that they were trying to make it the dagger, but it just failed miserably. But there was a bunch of them. But of course, it's a dream, so we could still be on Azeroth. It's just I don't know, some sort of Power Ranger type figure was exist in there. But clearly they must, because we're all surrounded by humans, but some dude comes up with a crystal you can find in Azuna, so clearly it's Azeroth of some kind. Um, but yeah, I was just walking around for a bit, and I think I went to look at the toys and all that, see if they had any Warcraft stuff. Um, but then the next morning, or the same morning, because it was like I woke up at around 5, 6 o'clock. I went onto Facebook, and one of the things I see was how Warlords of Draenor was actually a good expansion. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? I just had a dream about Warlords of Draenor, kind of, and I go online to see Warlords of Draenor was actually a good expansion, which I agree, it was actually a pretty good expansion, despite the fact that nothing they promised actually happened. Oh, hey guys, you want to see Farallon? You want to see what Netherstorm looked like before it became Netherstorm? Yeah, well, too bad. Too bad. We feel it doesn't fit into the story, so we're just not going to give it to you. Oh, Shattrath, you wanted a Shattrath raid? You want... Well, too bad. Well, too bad. What? The ending of the game doesn't make sense? Why is Grommash suddenly our friend and not our... Well, too bad. We're not going to explain it. But I think that Warlords of Draenor was just that last patch. Like, this was a disappointing ending. The fact that we got stuck with Hellfire Citadel for like a year and some odd months was just ridiculous. Nowadays, you really don't worry about that because they know it's like, okay, well, this is our planned cycle. So we have this expansion, and then the next expansion comes out around this time. So they have all the patches planned. They have smaller patches to keep us occupied. But it wasn't like that for here. Mist of Pandaria, Warlords of Draenor. We had Siege of Orgrimmar for a year. We had Hellfire Citadel for over a year. And people were like, can't you just give us like, I don't know, like a Ruby Sanctum kind of thing? Just like a small patch to hold us over? Just like a little nugget or something? Little breadcrumb? Nope. Instead, hey guys, you want to run Hellfire Citadel? Really? For the 100th time? Yeah, it'll be fun. Sure. I mean, I think there's one piece of gear that I don't have. Awesome, you're invited. It's like the same thing with Siege. Like, hey guys, you want to do a raid? Which raid are we going to do tonight? Oh, I was thinking Siege of Orgrimmar. What was that? Siege of Orgrimmar? You got to say it a little louder. Siege of Orgrimmar? Why would we do that? We just beat it on all difficulties. Well, you might be able to get the shoulders. Because you need to get them now. Because you're definitely not going to be able to get them next expansion when you're overly leveled and you can just come back here and solo this stuff on your own. No, you need to get them now. While you're in a group where you have a chance of rolling on it and failing, where someone else gets it. No. You need to do it now. You need to get it done now. People were acting like it was such a big deal, which it was great to get his, Garrosh's shoulders, but it's like, again, you roll and it's like, oh, sorry, this person won. And then you use your little tokens or whatever to have an extra roll. And it's like, oh, here you go. Here's currency. And you're all like, oh boy, I'm so glad I lost 2 rolls. But yeah, so Warlords of Draenor wasn't that bad of an expansion. I mean, the leveling was pretty fun. The story was okay for what it was. Blackrock Foundry was really, really fun. Like Blackhand, it was just so freaking badass looking. I mean, I didn't like the fact we took out Ner'zhul in a freaking 5-man dungeon. Ner'zhul, the same orc who opened up so many portals on Draenor that eventually stopped wanting to be a planet and it became Outland. That Ner'zhul. who had the Scepter of Sargeras. That Ner'zhul. You take him out like a bitch in a 5-man dungeon. Blackhand, raid. Kargath, raid. Durotan, you don't actually fight. Kilrog, raid. Everyone else. Grom, we actually don't really do anything. We liberate him. He gets captured for some reason. And then he's like, oh, I hate the Legion now, or I hate Gul'dan, whatever. But yeah, Ner'zhul, one of the warlords of Draenor, is taken out in a 5-man dungeon like a bitch. Because storytelling. We were supposed to get an Ogre Empire, which we saw on the map, and they're like, oh yeah, you're totally going to be able to go there. Guess what? Spoiler, it didn't happen. Our garrisons essentially became our home away from home. It's like, oh, I can mine here. I can do herbalism here. I can do crafting here, alchemy, auction house. Why do I need to socialize with anyone anymore? I mean, there's events that go on. Why would I need to socialize with any real person when I have my followers? My loyal followers who will never leave me. They'll never abandon me. They'll never question why I'm doing something. They'll never say, hey, you're not actually able to use that gear. Why are you rolling on it? But, yeah, dreams. I know I went off on a tangent. It was supposed to be dreams, but this whole time I've been trying to think of another dream. I think I had what was last night, was it maybe? Oh, I can't remember them though. Like this one I had was the other day, but now I can't even remember what I had last night for a dream. Trying to remember. Do you remember? No, why do you think I'm trying to remember? I wouldn't have to try to remember if I did remember. Run through my head. Like specific, sometimes you'll have like a lot of Zelda type things like dreams or Warcraft like I had the other day. I don't really have nightmares. I have times where I lucid dream where I don't know I'm lucid dreaming. Well, obviously you don't know because it's so close to real life. Like I'll get up. It'll be a lucid dream, but I'll get up, I'll go to the bathroom in this lucid dream, and I'll see like my roommate out making breakfast or whatever in the kitchen. But then I'll wake, come back to bed, lay back down, and then suddenly, I'll actually wake up and go out there. She's still sleeping, the light's off. I'm like, what? Didn't I just see? Or like someone will tell me something in a dream. If I'm lucid dreaming, someone will tell me something and I'll ask them about it. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, didn't you tell me? They're like, no. I'm like, oh. I guess I was dreaming then. But yeah, it actually happens more often than I think. But speaking of dreaming right now, he's in dreamland. And I'm not talking a Kirby one. He's in dreamland right now. Adam. Actually, no, I don't want every time he comes over here, he knocks something loose on my mic cord, and then suddenly I'm yapping and there's no sound being picked up because he's pulled the cord out. So I don't want him waking up. Ever. No. I do want him to wake up, just not while I'm recording. Archimon's got some nice teeth. Like he's a demon, but look at these teeth. Look at them. They're so nice and purty. But yeah. That was the dream. It just started off with this. The Gul'dan, you made a pact. And then we see the portal and closing of these big old regal, red and gold doors, and we're going through them, and then suddenly we're in a shopping center, and I just like my frustration with the robber guy. Like, the dude's holding the place up, and I'm trying as hard as I can to produce something. I'm just like, come on, something, fire, water, something I can use, and people just tackle him. I thought it was going to be like some major shootout with some like high-tech weapons, like some goblin bull crap or, whatever, but no. It was just a regular gun and people tackled him. And I'm like, I'm going to go have a look around. But anyway, yeah, Warlords of Draenor. Why it wasn't that bad of an expansion, apart from when it was. That's gonna do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.